Hello and welcome to the Library Connection. I'm Summer Neiman Ernest, and joining me today is Mrs. Lori Hodge Corley. Lori is new to this community, and we are so excited to have her here in Sylacauga and to learn a little bit more about you, your family, your job, and everything that's going on since you've moved to Sylacauga. So along those lines, how long have you been in town?
We've been here about 60 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's been pretty quick. But we moved here from Nashville, Tennessee. I accepted a job with Coosa Valley to direct the Get Healthy Talladega County Rural Health Initiative. And so I'm work at SAFE with Margaret Morton, and I'm very, very happy to be here. I'm originally from Randolph County, so I'm happy to be nearer my home now.
Yeah, so Nashville, how long were you in Nashville?
We were there about 20 years.
Oh, wow. So
it's a big change.
Yeah, it was. Big city. And how did you even know? I mean, did you already know of Sylacauga, or how did you even find about?
Oh, yeah. I know a lot of people who are here from Sylacauga, and I enjoyed many people here when I was at Southern Union State Community College in Wadley. I knew a lot of people from Sylacauga, and I traveled through here going back and forth to Tuscaloosa all the time when I was in school there. So I have a friend in Tuscaloosa named Mary Jolly who connected me back here to Sylacauga because she knew of my work in Nashville and my interest. And so she was connected to me, and then I made all those connections.
Well, we are so happy to have you here. And so you're from this area or close by, and you said you went to school at Tuscaloosa, but how did you get to Nashville, or what took you to Nashville?
After I graduated from school in Tuscaloosa, I had to do a 6-month internship. My bachelor's degree is in music therapy, and so I moved to Nashville to work at the State Psychiatric Hospital there. And did music therapy there for about 6 months before they moved me to the geriatric psych unit and as a therapist. And so then I got my start really working with older people, and then moved on to nonprofit administration.
Wow. So I'm sure that you have some interesting stories. And for people who might not be familiar with that major or what a music therapist does, I don't know that we even have one here.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, we
actually.
do? We do at the hospital?
That's no, not at the hospital, but there are other music therapists.
In the area.
One specifically that I know that lives here in Sylacauga, Amy Marable Ford.
Oh, yeah. I went to school with Amy Marable. So what would a music therapist do?
Well, really, I'm a counselor who uses music as a tool for people to communicate. So my specialty is really in Alzheimer's and dementia. So I might write songs with people about their past, or I might use a piece of music to get them to communicate with their spouse. One special story I have is about a gentleman who had Alzheimer's disease, and his wife and he never really got to communicate with each other very much because he had a loss for words. And so his wife's name was Daisy, and so we would sing "Daisy, give me your answer do," and they would dance together. And so that's a very, very special story to me because she tells me that was the first time that he had held her in his arms for many years. So,
it's a true life notebook movie, right?
Exactly.
Well, you know, in music it transcends everything, and you feel, I mean, there's so many emotions, and so what a wonderful way to work with, if it's not even the elderly, but any kind of patients. I know that they use it even with pediatrics, probably.
Yes, I've worked with children with autism, all different types of abilities, and we really use it as a tool of communication, but also to teach rhythm and encourage wellness and exercise. I did Career Day at Indian Valley a few weeks ago with my daughter who's in kindergarten, and we had a great time just doing some songs and doing some rhythm, and it was just a great time, and they're so excited. And music is a whole brain activity, so the children get to exercise their entire brain and their body sometimes when they do those instruments.
Well, and I know that that's been an emphasis here in our community, is to bringing the arts back into the schools and making sure that that's an emphasis, that there are music teachers, and that these students that might not have a chance to go take music lessons or piano lessons or actually have someone to come in and to teach them that, and maybe to spark an interest or a later career in music. So for music therapy, you went into nonprofit. What kind of nonprofit organizations did you work with?
Well, I've worked, the majority of my career has been in older adult nonprofit work, mental health and older adults. and I've led groups in support of people with Alzheimer's disease. But for the last 12 years when I was in Nashville, I directed 7 senior centers, and we gained accreditation for 5 of those senior centers nationally, and there are only 150 of them in the United States who are nationally accredited. So I'm really proud of that, because it meant that we were meeting all the standards and helping people really live healthier lives in their older adult years, and also preventing many chronic diseases as they age.
Right. Well, and even in our community, that our population, we have a huge population of older people, and so I know that with your job with SAFE, and technically you're an employee though of Coosa Valley Medical Center, which are hospital facilities. I always tout it to everybody when they come into town, or if someone's having a baby or any kind of surgery or doctor that you need, that they offer everything, and the facilities are second to none. That's where I had my son, and always have been so pleased with the staff there and all of the doctors. It's just wonderful. Besides the good food there.
Yeah, exactly.
You're there all the time.
Yes.
I know. Well, and you know, the library partners with Coosa Valley Medical Center and brings in programs for the community links, and so I think that that's a great way to get some information out there that other people might not be aware of, and so they have that on a regular basis at our library. So in your new job, your new position, what are some of the things that you're doing?
Well, we're really trying to move the needle on childhood obesity and also hospital readmissions. Our project really encompasses all of Talladega County. So we have partnerships with all of our city school and county school systems. And then we're providing training for teachers. Also, we do programs for children in the schools to teach about, help them learn more about healthy living and making healthy choices. In addition, we are working with both hospitals in our county to try to reduce the number of readmissions they have, and also to encourage people to use primary care instead of going to the emergency room for issues that really don't need an emergency room visit, because that's so costly, and it really prevents people who need emergency care from getting it quickly.
Right.
And so that is something that we're really working on, and trying to coordinate care across the spectrum of the whole lifespan, so that when people go home from the hospital, they have the supports they need in the home to prevent that readmission, but also to keep them healthy, to make sure they get the nutritious meals they need, to make sure they get the therapy they need. If a child needs something for school, that we get that, we help them find ways to get that and connect them with resources so that they get that hand up to have a healthier life, and also that improves the entire health of our county.
Definitely, and you find that education is empowering, especially if you can get these children young and on a healthy path, that prevents so many diseases. You hear over and over again that being overweight or things that can be prevented, diabetes, if you keep that thing in check. And so I know that education is important, but there's some other things that you've been doing this summer with the program, some feedings.
Yeah, we're doing summer feeding this year, and it's we're feeding about 200 kids per day here right in Sylacauga, and we have a number of sites. We're really happy about that. That's the first time we've done that. It's safe. Well, I think it's the first time. I'm pretty new, but it's the first time that I'm aware of that we've been able to do that. And we have so many volunteers in the community for whom we're so thankful, who are helping us to provide those meals to children. It is funded through the State Department of Education, but without those volunteers, we wouldn't be able to do this. And so we're so thankful for Mount Zion and Parks and Rec and Verley Collins and our Bridges programs and Boys Club, who are providing the volunteers to do these meals for children, so that they get breakfast and lunch 5 days a week. And we can be assured that they're getting that. And it has to be consumed on site, so we know that the child is getting that meal.
And and that seems to be a problem with childhood hunger and food solutions. I know there's some other groups that do that, but during the summertime, that there isn't the school lunch or the school breakfast that they're getting. And so many of these families might be going without and not even realize it. So providing that service is a wonderful opportunity.
It's so helpful to parents, because they're able to know that their child can get those 2 meals, and then they can provide the 3rd meal and the snack. And it's really helpful financially to families who are struggling to get those meals for their kids.
That's wonderful. And I know that not only are you doing the summer program with the feeding and all the education through the hospital, but there's even programs that are in place now in the school system. So throughout the school year, what kinds of things?
Well, we have the school gardens, which we really enjoy, and we have so many volunteers and staff who work on that. And then the school staffs who work on those gardens, so that children can really see the seed to plate concept of where their food comes from. Then we also have way trainings, which is wellness, academics, and you, that we do in our school systems. And so children really get lessons on the best ways to maintain their wellness. And what we have to realize is that obesity is not just a problem of eating too much.
Right.
Many of the children that we see, it's a problem of they have a lot of processed foods, and they're not able to get the fresh fruits and vegetables that they need to maintain a healthy weight. And that's a big misconception that people have, that if there is obesity, there's too much food, and it's just not true.
No, and unfortunately, you find it when you're shopping in the grocery store that sometimes the healthier options are a lot more expensive.
Right.
And so that's a wonderful way to show them with the gardening. And as a teacher, a science teacher, I think it's wonderful because it's cross-curricular, that the science teacher can go out there and provide a lesson. If there's a home economics or food nutrition, that you can use it to teach so many things beyond just preparing a meal. And so that's wonderful that you offer that service, and as a teacher, just to have somebody to come in and to do additional education, that I think that's important.
Right, and we're really hoping to do more of that in the coming year, and we're hoping to make some greater strides in providing healthy activities for kids in school and after school meals. We just want to continue to grow this program and scale it up, because Talladega County, areas of our county are actually a food desert. I mean, there's not a lot of food farmed in Talladega County, a lot of timber.
Right.
And so we want to make sure that kids have the option to get fresh, healthy foods. And people don't think about that. I mean, when I read the research here, I was so surprised. And so I think of food deserts more in Nashville, Tennessee, or places where there's a lot of concrete.
Sure, that there's not land.
And so that was really a shock to me. And so we want to just continue to realize that and help get that message out there that, fresh fruits and fresh vegetables can be expensive, and how can we help to get those into children. Right.
And that it's delicious, too. I mean, some kids have never tasted the blueberry off the bush, and how not only healthy but nutritious and delicious it is. And I know even with SAFE and the community gardens, that's another community-wide service, that food goes to different soup kitchens or whatever they're producing through the year. And we'll be talking about, I'm sure, in the coming months, the Dinner Under the Stars, which is an annual event, and it'll be this September, a way to bring awareness to what SAFE does with the community gardens and with nutrition, and just a wonderful event that usually provides a lot of fun and a big turnout. So we're excited about that, and hopefully the weather will be good for that. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will be joined once again by Lori Corley and talking more about her activities here in the community.
In Central Alabama, 9,100 kids face going to bed hungry tonight. Hunger doesn't take a day off. There are kids right here, right now, that don't know where they'll get their next meal. Join Alabama Childhood Food Solutions and help put an end to childhood hunger in Central Alabama. Make a difference. Donate today, by mail or online, to help ACFS feed hungry kids. There's no better time to share than now. Their next meal could come from you.
Any meal, anytime, it's a Huddle House on Highway 280. From the popular Huddle House Signature Waffle to our Big House breakfast, including gravy and biscuit and loaded hash browns, it's a Huddle House. Try our Philly cheese steak omelet. It's a sure hit, too. Our Big House sandwich combos include Huddle burger and country fried steak. And for lunch or dinner, it's the often requested chopped steak with mushroom gravy. Starting to get hungry? Head to the Huddle House. Our friendly and experienced team await you. Huddle House, Highway 280, any meal, anytime.
There's one pharmacy that's so much more than just a drugstore. That's Marble City Pharmacy in Sylacauga. From cards for all occasions, a huge selection of gifts, even great exclusive Alabama and Auburn stuff, all kinds of household needs, and a complete selection of over-the-counter meds and supplies that you would expect. We are more than just a drugstore, but with our friendly, courteous staff and all of our great extras, we ought to be your drugstore. We're Marble City Pharmacy in Ogletree Plaza.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. Last year, the Alabama State Park celebrated our 75th anniversary, but the fun really never ends. I'm happy because this year, special events and new promotions will help us reach out to those who have yet to visit a state park. In addition to providing family fun, our parks are located in some of the most beautiful parts of Alabama. So plan your next visit today. But this year, reach out and bring a friend. For more information, call 1-800-ALAPARK or go to alapark.com.
Since 1935, the Collins family has been the automobile business in Sylacauga. Bobby and Anderson Collins carry on that tradition today at Stop and Shop Auto Sales. Select from late model cars, trucks, and SUVs. And our vehicles do not go on the lot until they are thoroughly inspected by our experienced mechanics. At Stop and Shop Auto Sales, we offer a 30-day warranty on all our inventory. Family owned and operated for 4 generations. Stop and Shop Auto Sales, 230 West 1st Street in Sylacauga.
Hello and welcome back to the Library Connection. I'm Summer Neiman Ernest, and joined with me today is Lori Corley. Lori's new to the community. She said she's only been here about 60 days from Nashville. And we've been discussing really what brought you here. Sylacauga is a wonderful place, and I think that we are benefiting greatly already by you being here and working with Get Healthy Talladega County and all of the programs through the hospital and through SAFE and the schools that you're providing already. I know are making a huge difference and will continue to grow and do so in the future.
I hope so.
The one thing we haven't talked about is your family. So tell us a little bit about your family.
Yeah, my husband Ed and my daughter Genevieve. We all moved here together, and we're really excited to be here. We moved right downtown on South Norton, so we live
in my neighborhood.
Yes, we live near Summer, and we're excited to be in a walkable community. That we love walking to the park, and we walk to the grocery store sometimes, and we can walk to church if we want, and it's really important to us to have that community connection. And many times in the neighborhood, all the kids are out playing at night, and it's just really enjoyable to be a part of that and be a part of the community.
I agree. Well, and any time that I know someone new is moving to town, you snuck in before I even knew it, but luckily you landed, I think, in a good place. I try to encourage people to live in the downtown area. I grew up in the downtown area, and now raising my family there, and I just think that it's unparalleled in what you can do, and just having, you know, that neighborhood feeling and knowing your neighbors and being able to play with your neighbors, and like you said, being able to walk everywhere. And that's something that I've always strived to, you know, if it's walking to the library, or we can walk to the schools or to the museum or to the store, pretty much anywhere, or anything that you need, the post office, you can walk there. And that's not always the case in cities. And so to be able to have that access, and once again with the healthy living, is to teach your children that we don't have to jump in the car every time we need to run to the drugstore.
Well, we've been very fortunate this week because we've been down to one car as one of them's being worked on. And so Ed and Genevieve are regular patrons of the library. On Mondays and Wednesdays, they go to the special programs there. And so they've been walking there from our home and enjoying that, stopping back for lunch on the way back. And it's been really, really great because that allowed me to move around and do what I wanted to do, but they still had access to everything they needed, being able to walk.
Well, and there's been many times the same situation, or you drop off the car to, you know, get new tires or to get oil change, and you just walk right home. And so to be able to do that, and that's one thing that I'm thankful with the library's location, that it is accessible for so many in the community. And you can see by the numbers of children that are attending the summer reading programs, it's packed every single time that we're in there. And I think that that's one of the best services that the library offers. And I know that Mandy Cantrell and her staff and Dr. Shirley Spears work really hard to bring new people in and new programs. We went to the Robin Hood play last week and really enjoyed it. And I think there's something for everybody. There's music, there's magicians, there's the story time. And so a lot of ways to introduce children to the library who might not otherwise go in.
Well, and Genevieve sees her friends there, and that's a great meeting place for her. And also, she told me yesterday she saw a turtle, and there were many animals there yesterday, so she told me all about that. But I'm really thankful to have that because we were really involved in that in Nashville and had great programs. And I agree that this one is second to none.
It's phenomenal. And I say that all the time. And I'm really not I do love Sylacauga, and I love the library and everything it provides, but living in other towns and going to other children's programs, I feel like ours is second to none, especially for the size of our community.
Yes.
And that's just a testament to the hard work of Dr. Spears and the grant money and all the sponsors. There's so many community sponsors that help to bring these programs. And they last throughout the year. There's the Bluebell Storytime that goes throughout the year. And one thing, and having some other people on this show that we talked about, it's a great way to meet people as a parent, that you get to meet people that have children your same age, or to meet friends, if other ones that go to different schools that they might not meet in the class.
Right. Ed and Genevieve really enjoy that, and that's something how they made friends in Nashville, and so they're doing that here.
Right. Well, we're excited. Genevieve, Payne loves to play with Genevieve. She's going into first grade.
She is at Indian Valley.
Right.
And she did great. She was a trooper at the end of last year and came for the last 4 weeks. We're very thankful to Indian Valley for getting her involved, and Miss Walker, her teacher, for welcoming her so well.
Because that can be tough.
Yes, it's
and
very
tough transition.
Tough. Yes.
I know. And so she's just rolled with the punches and then great.
She does.
And I know, just a little side fact, Ed, what did he do in Nashville?
Yeah, Ed was in the music business there for 20 years. He was the CFO of the Nashville Songwriters Association International for many years, and got an exclusive writing deal, so he was a professional songwriter.
Wow.
And the music business has changed a lot, and so we decided to follow my career for a little bit, and I'm very thankful to him for letting me do that, and also encouraging me to take on this role. And right now he's at home with Genevieve, and loving doing that, and he's really, really a great supporter and encourager of both of us, and
That's
so
wonderful.
we're very thankful for
Yeah,
him.
and I know he stays busy. Yeah,
He does. He has the harder job.
Yeah, seriously. Well, since moving to the community, I know you've jumped right in. Some of your activities already that you've been going to the same church we go to.
Yes, First Methodist.
And so that's wonderful to see you there. We hope to get you involved in even more with the Arts Council.
That's what I understand.
Yeah, starting this fall, and you'll see the Arts Council with Dr. Ted Spears at its helm does so much for our community, providing grants to schools and opportunities to bring in the arts. And one of our biggest things and most important things is the Marble Festival, which will be held next April. It is the sponsor of the Marble Festival, and it's a wonderful way to tout our city and something that makes us special, being the Marble City. So I'm excited for that, and that's one thing that you see in the library. All the sculptures have come from primarily the different marble festivals.
I was so impressed with that when we first came, and we visited the library, and it was just so beautiful, and I'm really glad that the arts is such a part of this community, because being musicians, both of us, we want that for our daughter, and for that to be such a part of this community is really a blessing.
Right, I agree. And I feel like just within the past few years, I have a passion for it because my son has a passion for it that I've seen even more. You know, if it's visual arts, there's sculpture. We have the Sylacauga Community Playhouse that is getting back going, and so we have theater and various avenues of music. And so it's really exciting, I think, for the younger generation to come up and hopefully never know Sylacauga without any of all of these amazing resources. Something along that music line that I learned a little fact about you is that you were actually in the Miss Alabama pageant.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. But I really enjoyed it, and I'll tell you, that was a great scholarship opportunity for me. I paid for 3 years of college through the Miss Alabama pageant, and I was at a community college at the time at Southern Union, and so I was Miss Southern Union, and really learned a lot through that process, and just really gained a lot of knowledge about interviewing and poise, and also honed my talent, which I was a singer, so I really got to work on that skill. But just the interviewing process, I believe, was very, very helpful to me, and practicing for that. But then the scholarship monies really helped me to move forward in my education, and took a little bit of burden off my parents.
Definitely.
When I didn't have to work all the time in college
Right.
to do that. So that was really really a blessing to me, and I enjoy it, and I look forward to getting involved in that here, as
Definitely.
I've already been recruited.
Yes. Well, and our Miss Sylacauga pageant is the longest running preliminary, if you haven't heard, in the state of Alabama.
I have not.
And our own Mandy Cantrell's daughter, Mary Kelly, is our current Miss Sylacauga,
Okay.
and she just competed in the Miss Alabama program and did a wonderful job, as well as our Miss Marble Valley. We have two wonderful representatives for our city. And like you said, I feel like so many people aren't aware of the many benefits.
Right.
It's not just the part on stage. Interview skills and going through that I think it prepares you for so much more in your career, and just being a confident person, as well as your talents. And of course the scholarship money is much needed. It can help you with undergraduate degrees, master's degrees, whatever it is, the point of stage in life that you're in. And so I think that's so exciting, and we pulling you on board there as well with the Arts Council and everything. So if we had to talk about just being in here the 60 days, what has been your favorite thing about living in Sylacauga?
I think the people that I've met, and I've been so welcomed by you and others in our community. Also meeting all the people in the school systems has been really great. I went to college, or knew Dr. Freeman when I was in college, so really just reconnecting with people and the connections that I've had, but also just living in a walkable community has been one of the best aspects. But also I feel very, very blessed to be a part of SAFE and to learn from Margaret Morton, as I believe she is brilliant and really can help me learn a lot of other things that I want to learn about community involvement and activity. I've had great mentors in my life, and now I count her as one, and so I hope to do that, and then to be mentors to other young girls as they come along, to help them learn that a woman's place is really in the House and the Senate.
Right. I love it. I love it. You're a woman after my own heart. Well,
In the House and the Senate. That's true.
that's so true, and she's contributed so much to this community, and we are blessed with a lot of strong women leaders. Dr. Shirley Spears, she is invaluable, not only the things that she does through the library, and I know that they do some things with SAFE too for the Bridges program, and continue to help out with Margaret Morton's efforts, and they just keep widening, greater and greater, and so I'm excited to see what the future holds for you, and I hope that you and Ed and Genevieve will be here for a long time.
We're planning on it.
Yeah, it's a great community, and I think that is the special thing about Sylacauga, and I find that so many people newly moving here talk about the people, and I feel like the people that live in Sylacauga love this town. I know I do, and that they're really genuinely sincere about it, that we love where we live and want everybody else to, and that we have so much to offer that sometimes you might not realize when you're driving by on 280.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and so from the hospital to the library to the school systems, Dr. Freeman has done an amazing job coming in, making changes for the better. We have huge renovations going on. Our schools are being renovated, hopefully our stadium soon. So there's a lot of exciting things going on. Before we leave, is there any interesting facts that we should know about you? Or something that we might not otherwise know?
Oh, wow. Well, one of my claims to fame, I guess, in my hometown was when I was a young child. We put on an opera in Wadley, Alabama, in 1980, maybe,
Right.
82, and we did them all in the Night Visitors. And when I was 11 years old, I sang that part. And I really, really think that that really helped me connect to a larger musical family through the community college, and I really think that there are so many opportunities for our children here who have those community colleges and opportunities to do bigger things, just like paint is involved in the
Community
theater
playhouse,
here.
right.
Yes, and I think that that's just so important, and that's one thing that I really enjoyed at 11 years old in Wadley, Alabama, being able
great.
to learn and do that, and it helped me. You know.
Well, what I look forward to is not only what you're doing through your position, through your family and community work, is I want to see you perform, because I've heard just a little snippet, and I know you have a gorgeous voice, so maybe we'll pull you into some of that theater and something in the future.
I'd love that. Thank
Lori,
you.
thanks so much for joining us
Thank
today
you.
on the Library Connection, and we'll see you next time.